of darkness lights up the void. Red mutant Zoid, ready to destroy. Unite the red nudging beasts in shadow. Rising in the night, no tomorrow. Nanobites. Sparks fly, blue guardians tremble caught in the sky. Conquering will the stars in his wake. Planet Zoidstar about to break quake. Decree law. Endless warpath circuits ablaze. No mercy program, hatred in a maze. Destiny forging metal and fire. Zoidstar sun to Clark's desire. Red and blue, the point lights up the skies. War drums echo mechanical cries. Crocs from rising giant made of steel. Planet Zoidstar, nothing left to feel. Let cover clock be more machines. Zoids unite, screaming twisted dreams. Universe quaking under his iron claw. Red prince of doom, final decree law. Zoidstar, nothing left to feel. Power surge, endless crush control found. Universe, engines went to ground. Ancient Zoids following without cease. Crocs dominion, everlasting peace. The twilight air, sparks fly as they clash, don't care. Radox roars, ripping skies apart. Steel and fury, flame from the heart. Terror charges with iron rage. Machine roar echoes war stage. Pterodactyl cries cut into night. Fight for dominion, primal fight. Splashing in the dark, battle cries light up the spark. Radars and turrets tearing apart. Robot world at the bleeding start. Rose splashing in the dark, battle cries light up the spark. Radars and turrets tearing apart. Robot world at the bleeding start. Gears grind with each deadly swoop. Orders creating battle soup. Skyline burns with every hit. Metal warriors refusing to quit. Lightning strikes as talons clash. Iron teeth fight in a flash. Pterodactyl roars won't back down in this world of steel and crown. Grinding gears and shattered dreams. Echoes of metallic spark. Radars and terror tearing apart. Robot world at the beating stars. Roll smoke splashing in the dark. Battle cries light up